What's up, everybody? You're here to find your voice, and we're here today for day 3 of trying to update voicedrycleaner.com. Voicedrycleaner.com looks like, not that, looks like this. And it's good, but this is all static HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and we're ready to update to React to take advantage of some of the React benefits. So we're going to implement Waiver, a free template for building a SaaS app. Step 1, clone. So the 3 big things we're going to cover today. Cloning a base template from Material UI. Here's the Material UI from Google. We're going to add Firebase login using Firebase UI. So here is Firebase UI npm. But I'm actually going to look at the GitHub repository. Not here either. Here. Yeah. So this is what we will follow to do Firebase UI most likely, and then after that we will set up free cleaner, which exists over here, and it's just hitting an API endpoint, and we'll do the same on the other. And then finally we will update the content. So right now you can see that this content is all around a free template for building SaaS app. We're going to change this to be more VoiceDryCleaner centric. Let's get started. Step 1, we are going to clone this repository. Clone. CD, you know what, CD ... I'm going to delete that whole folder because this is the exact thing I want to clone. So we'll go nautilus./ That'll open up this folder. I will delete said folder. Control C, ls, we only have one. Git clone to clone our repository. Not sure what happened. Git clone, shift enter. Make sure you've got some water nearby. Stay hydrated. It's a beautiful day, and your body will love you by staying healthy. Alright, we've cloned the repo. We're going to change directory inside of React SaaS template. Let's check what's inside. We have a public readme and src and a package.json. We're going to use npm I to install all the packages from that package.json into our project. If you get any errors here about npm not being a command, that means you have not installed the Node Package Manager. And I recommend looking up any other YouTube video on using Node Package Manager, and maybe even easier, look up getting started with npm. Next step, let's run it locally. npm run start to spin up our local server. And here we are, running locally on localhost 3000. Next step, let's deploy this to production. I'm going to run ls, make sure we're still in the right place. Firebase init to initialize our Firebase project because we are using Firebase hosting. Hit the spacebar once you've selected that, and then enter because all we need is hosting. We're going to use an existing project, and next it should ask us for the project ID. Our project ID is VoiceDryCleaner. You'll find the project ID inside of your Firebase project. I wasn't going to show, but I'll go ahead and show. Go to Firebase, sign into your Firebase account. Head over to the Firebase project that you want the project from. In this case, it'll be VoiceDryCleaner. And you can find it right up here inside of the URL, and you can also go to settings, project settings, and then project ID will be defined. And here I can copy this and paste it. Do I want the public directory is what's going to contain the, that's not what we want. So because we're using React, we're going to shift public to build. And we do want this to be a single page web app. And now we're good. ls, we see we have a build folder. We have a firebase.json, so let's build and deploy. Build is going to take this React project and it's going to generate the build folder. And then deploying will take what's in our build folder and push it to our public website. So we'll run npm run build. Now that we built, we will deploy, running Firebase deploy -- only hosting. and we've now deployed. We can view that by going to voicedrycleaner.web.app, and bam, here we are hosted publicly. Next step is going to be adding Firebase UI, and we're using npm module. So again, I got to this page, I just searched Firebase UI React, and we can see down here is the actual docs from Firebase, which is what I like. We're not using CDN. We're going to use npm modules because we are using Node Package Manager. Just install that nonsense. And then we will require these modules on our single page web app. I'll run code.slash to now, for the first time, start modifying our code. We will go into our src, app.js, and we want Firebase for all of this. Trying to decide where the best place is to import. You know what? We want it on logged out. Okay, Google, stop. So the component we want is Firebase UI, which is only for logging in. So you know what? Let's include it in the logged out component. So let's go into here. Logged out, components. What's main.js? We've got a cookie consent, dialog selector, cookie results, nav bar, and routing. I'm going to run npm run start to spin up our local development server to try to understand where blog posts select home and select blog might route. Okay, so when we select home, it takes us to home. When we select blog, it takes us to blog. I don't know about register and login yet. Looks like register is right here, and then this might be login. Register and login appear to open up a dialog, whereas home and blog take you somewhere else. So it seems like they already have a flow to put in a UI. So let's actually take a step deeper and go into these login dialogues. Register login / dialog selector. Register login / dialog selector. So here we've got dialog open, open register dialog, open login dialog, change password dialog. So let's just go to the register dialog first. And here's the register dialog. And inside of here we have a form dialog with loading and on close, and then we have these text fields and fragments. I wonder how many fragments we have. It just looks like we have one fragment, but I'm going to read through this real quick to try to understand. So right now when we click register, it opens this up, and what I would like to do is leave the word register up here, but the rest of it I would like to scrap and just put in a Firebase UI. So that'll be what I'm going to try to do now is, and if we click away it does disappear, and I like that functionality of clicking away and disappearing. So I don't want that to disappear. I would like to keep the click away and the clicking of the button and popping this open. I wonder what happens once we register. So let's go blah 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 at gmail.com, and then we'll go password of blah blah blah. I should have made it visible. Let's copy that. Paste it. I agree. Okay, so registration is disabled and nothing happens. So let's try switching out some components. First, let's try scrapping everything that's inside of it. So that means get rid of this text field, error, full width, required, autofocus, autocomplete, on change. We set status, visibility password. Looks like we got a variant, a margin, a required, a full width, an error. I think we can delete all those. A label, input ref, autocomplete, on change. with password being too short or password being too long, or password being too short or they don't match. Helper text is visible on visibility change. Form helper text props is visible on visibility change. I think the is visible either hides or reveals the passwords, and then on visibility change is triggered when the visibility status changes, when the user clicks the eye. Form control label, and then a label. In order, you have to accept our terms. I wonder what our terms are. I don't think I want a terms. I just want people to sign in, so we'll delete that too. We'll delete everything inside this fragment. And then there's the submit button somewhere. Register button. I also don't think we even need this register button. The only thing I really want to keep is this headline inside of the form dialog. So where's this form dialog in? And we want to close. Bam. Alright, so we've cleared it all out. Let's save this. And must only be assigned a non-empty expression. Alright, so let's go p hello world. We're reducing it down to base before we try to implement our own. Bam. What happens when we register? Now we get this box that all that it says is hello world. That's awesome. So next, I'm going to add in Firebase UI. We've now reduced it down to base. Oh yeah, let's make sure the rest of the functionality is still there. When we click register, it opens. When we click away, it closes. If we click anywhere on it, nothing happens. And what happens if we click the X? We can click the X. So we're all good. We're logging it in. All right, shifting on to Firebase UI. Let's go here. Let's call these variables. And it looks like we don't have visibility password text, so we don't need these imported anymore. I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Delete all that. We don't need them. Firebase UI. Initialize the widget. We'll put the widget in immediately following this. You know what? It'll go inside of register dialog. Yep. Next we want not email and password. We don't want email link. We want OAuth providers like Google, Facebook, Twitter. So blah blah blah. Yep. Okay, I'll do that real quick. Authentication, we'll head over to here and we'll set up a sign-in method. We'll do Google, and I'll just make Google the first one. And we want to enable, and we want to save. So Google is now enabled. Also in the authent, make sure your domain where your sign-in page will be rendered is also whitelisted. So I want to whitelist https://voicedrycleaner.com. And I want to add an additional one. Let's add https://voicedrycleaner.web.app. And I wonder if we just want voice dry cleaner.com. voice dry cleaner dot web dot app. And I think we're good now. We'll save that. So make sure your domain, we did that. Now we will run this. Looks like we cannot register Firebase, cannot resolve it. So let's go ahead and install it. npm run start. Let's see if we still have the issue. No more issue. Let's see what happens when we register. Alright, no Firebase app has been created. Okay, so we want to, let's go back in before we begin. Add Firebase authentication to your web app. Let's do that. Install, sign into Firebase, create a Firebase project, register your app with Firebase, did all that, add the SDKs and initialize. Node.js. So we've just saved Firebase, and I believe, let's see where we're at. We have Firebase, and now we want Firebase auth. We should be good. We should honestly be good. And then we want a Firebase config as well as an initialization of the app. So, bam. I'm going to do my best to actually hide this data, the Firebase config. Just so you're aware of how to get this data, you're going to go to projects, to users and permissions, and then you'll go into the service account tab where you will have all that information. I am going to obfuscate that data. So I'm going to use Firebase functions to set some environment variables. That way I don't have to share them with you guys. And as you can see right now when I run git, we have nothing in there. So I'm going to change this to set. And I'm going to call the variable, let's follow this reference, someservice.key. So we're going to call this Firebase config dot, and then the pieces of information we need. That'll include things like a client ID and other details. Easiest way is to just generate a new private key. You can see I've got it right here down below inside of settings, and when you generate that key it'll have all the info, and then at that point you can just and then once you get that key you can just paste it here inside of Firebase config. For me, I'm going to be using an environment variable because this is an open source project. Changed my mind. I'm going to copy this exactly and I'm going to use this. So we will go, we'll paste. And now we're using admin in addition to Firebase, and we've got a service account which I'm going to create. Service account will be created by generating a new private key. It'll download the key, and now I'm going to save this inside of my repository. So we'll show this in folder. We'll show this code in folder. Open containing folder. I'm going to rename this service account key.json. So here, path to service account key, and the path is just // because it's in the same place. So now we shouldn't be sharing the service account key. So inside of my git ignore, I'm going to add // logged _out / components. You know what? I'm actually going to move the service account key to the highest level. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got service account key up here. That way, I think that'll make it easier for me to access this anywhere. Service account key.json. So when we run git status, We still show the service account key, which I don't like. I not sure why sometimes git ignores do things like this. Okay, cool. So now it does not show that service account key, which is going to sit locally on my computer. And I also don't think we need any of this Firebase info. So suites, ignore Firebase project specific data. So we got service account key, we want /Firebase. Whoa, I don't know why you changed it to capitals. Copy that, paste it, get this last one, copy that. Add a star at the end. It's just .firebase, not ./ that's my bad. Cool. Git ignored, package.json, logged out. We want to update all those, so that all makes sense. We are now good. Git add git ignore, git commit -m I wonder what our Git repository is. Git remote -v. Alright, so we are actually on the wrong project right now. I'll add this in as a task we'll want to change later. Okay, so we should now be able to run Firebase. Let's run npm run start. The goal is to open up the register tab and actually have it work. So let's see where this takes us now. Can't resolve that because that's not the right path. I'm going to update this path to the proper place and I'll be right back. Alright, now we get Firebase admin is not found, which is totally cool. We'll get that with another npm command, npm I --save Firebase admin. We've added Firebase admin, and now let's go to running it again with npm run start. Let's see Firebase UI work. Not sure what this error is. I did some looking around on Google, and I'm just going to try deleting the node modules folder as well as my package lock, and now let's try reinstalling with npm I. npm run start. Alright, I'm gonna just try to install this with npm I. Let's try that and let's just see what it gives us. And it looks like it does not like how far out my service account key.json is. So instead of it being outside of src, I'm going to move it just inside. Oh, I didn't mean to move it into shared. Move it to here. Now it's inside of src. So I need to make sure that inside of here we eliminate one of these /slashes. And okay. Okay. It looks like we might have this running now. Cool, so now we're running. What happens if we click register? Looks like we're about to get an error. No app has been called with initialize app. But we are running an initialize app, so I don't really understand. How about instead of admin, let's try Firebase. Let's try that. What are we getting? Alright, I'm not sure what's going on. Let's inspect and see if there's anything here. unsupported environment. The package should only be used in server-side or back-end Node.js environment. Should not be used in web browsers or other client-side environments. Use the Firebase for client-side. Okay, so I need to... You told me to install it, but that's totally cool. We'll uninstall Firebase admin. npm uninstall --save shift insert. Now we are uninstalling Firebase admin. We should see it disappear from our package.json. Oh my goodness, I want this package. Where is Firebase? Firebase UI, no more Firebase admin. Start the server. Goal is to get Firebase UI. Pardon me. Cannot resolve Firebase admin. Register login. Okay. Admin is not defined on line 12. Let's try Firebase. Alright, we're looking better. Cannot read property cert of undefined. Alright, I'm going to copy this Firebase.initialize app from a Firebase config. And then Firebase config is actually service account. Save that. Let's see if we're better. Alright, we're still not loading, but why? No stack trace. Fragment defined but never used. Yeah, things defined, that's fine. Uncaught. Your API key is invalid. Please check you have copied it. Okay. Alright, so now when I click register, an auth instance already exists. Okay, so it looks like I am setting up an auth instance multiple times, which we should not be doing. So instead of calling this inside of a register dialog, I'm going to move this up with the rest of our Firebase config. That way we're only calling it once. So let's save this and let's click register. We see it pop up, we click away, we click it again. I'm not seeing any errors. So the only thing I think we need is to put it inside of this hello world. So we got the Firebase config. How do I actually get this? Ah, okay, here we go. Let's copy that. And let's paste over that. Okay, so it looks like we need an auth container. Do they have any recommendations for what an auth container looks like? Let's just make this a... We'll just make this a div of ID Firebase auth container. So now we've got that div. And now we want to load the sign-in options. And we'll make this right up here. And I only have Google, so we'll highlight out everything. And let's see what we got now. Okay, nothing is showing up right now. I do see it here. Let's add a p tag with that hello world back again. We only can have one. One contained element. So we can see hello world, but we still don't see Firebase UI. Let's inspect and see what's going on over here. Could not find the Firebase UI widget element on the page. Okay, so it can't find the Firebase UI widget. At this point, I'm thinking I would like to just check out an npm package that might make this easier. So let's go npm Firebase UI React. And I think I would like to do this. We're going to install the React version of Firebase UI. Who created this? That's my first question. Collaborators, Nivco. I don't know who Nivco is, but they're getting about 11,000 weekly downloads, which tells me that they are hopefully doing something right. Alright, so we'll get this styled. I believe we've already run save React Firebase. I'm going to just do this again. Once that finishes, I'll save Firebase again. So now I'm referencing an actual Firebase library, Firebase Web React. So this is probably what we wanted to follow in the first place, following the React tutorial. Installing Firebase should already be installed. In your app, import the Firebase auth or the styled Firebase auth component from React Firebase UI and import Firebase. Configure, write a UI configuration, use the Firebase auth component in your template. Okay, so what's the difference? There are two similar components that allow you to add Firebase UI, Firebase auth, and styled Firebase auth. It has a reference to the Firebase UI CSS file. It requires the CSS is bundled with CSS directly. I would prefer to use this where it bundles it. For simplicity, you should use that. For potentially better build sizes, you can use Firebase auth. That means that you need to have a CSS style loader. So let's copy the styled Firebase component. Get rid of that. Styled Firebase. And then we already should have Firebase. We do already have Firebase. We'll do it using this new declaration style. And we've already got this config, and we should have already run firebase.initialize service account. Great. And now we need a UI config. We'll put this, we'll delete all this and put this here. Sign in successful, it'll take us there. And now we should only need to copy this and replace this. Let's just replace it all. Does it work? Can we finally call this working? Fingers crossed. Hey, and now we have a sign in with Google button. This is great. So real quick, I'm gonna put a div around it. That way I can add in something else because it feels a little bare right now. Register your new voice dry cleaner account. Register your new voice dry cleaner account. Period. And then they sign in with Google. They click the sign in button, and then we should, because of this configuration, get rerouted to /sign-in, which does not really do anything. Signing in with our Gmail account. getting redirected to /signed in, which is the exact same place. Bam, bam, bam. Alright, so next up, we're going to deploy this code to production, and then we are going to add it to GitHub. And I'm also going to delete all this stuff. Line 1 and line 43. So line 1, we want to get rid of fragment because we're not using it anymore. And then on line 43, we're doing this stuff, which most of it is not used. Save that. What are we missing? Line 45 has terms of service error. Line 46, which is now 45. Save that. How we looking? Alright, we're looking good now. Let's register again. Great, we're all signed in. So npm run build to build our production version before we deploy using Firebase deploy. Now that we built Firebase deploy -- only hosting, once we have deployed this to Firebase, we will be able to see it live over here on voice drycleaner.com .web.app. And when we register now, let me do a hard refresh on this page. Bam, now we see our sign in with Google. When we sign in, it'll redirect us to /sign-in as long as we've authenticated all the right websites. We're now signed in. We've been redirected here, so my next step is to upload this to GitHub. So let's go to GitHub, not GitLab. GitHub. We're thinking of making the shift away from GitLab back to GitHub because why? Well, the reason being we want to. Set new remote origin. Let's see how this works. I'm get remote -v. Git push origin master. It's probably going to tell me I git status. Git commit -m. I update git ignore with Firebase files. Okay, so did we do it? Now our git ignore should have the Firebase service account keys, and we should have an src directory, and instead of logged out we should have Register login, register dialog. Looks like we have not pushed register dialog yet, so git add src logged out components register I add Firebase UI to register dialog. Control C. I forgot to include an initial quote, but that's also giving me the opportunity to git add package.json. Now I want to commit, and I'll add in the entire message. Push that all up to master. Git status. Alright, we're all good. Next step was GitHub. Did I successfully link and push this stuff to GitHub? We've got Firebase, and the only thing that's being registered down here is a styled Firebase auth. So we have now added GitHub. Next step is to integrate our free cleaner. And to do that, I'm going to reference our existing code base. Opening up a new terminal, I'm going to change over, you know what, you don't need to see this. Code.slash. Alright, so now we are looking at the old repository as well as the new one, and I'm really curious about free. What are we doing here in free? Commented everything out, and we just have enter valid. No. Okay, so we've got an email, name of dry cleaner, and a phone number. So I will need those 3 text boxes. And then here's this save to Firebase, which sets the company code. It adds the cleaner to an admin, validates the password, and adds to admin. So I'm going to copy some of these functions over to our new code. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to create those little tabs on here. So down here I'll have create your cleaner for free. I'll add on a new section to the main page. And I don't know if we're going to switch from logged out to logged in ever. I have a feeling we're going to end up deleting this entire logged in component and everything from here. For now we won't touch it. I'm looking for pricing, which they call pricing. So I should just be able to control shift F for pricing. Where's home.js? There it is, pricing card. Alright, so here's home.js, and we've got a head section, a feature section, a pricing section, and that's it. Are we importing home anywhere? Select home, we got select home, and then we get the footer. Yeah, so let's just change the home, and let's add in a new cleaner. New cleaner, new free cleaner section. We'll copy all this, and we'll emulate. Let's see what the difference is between pricing and the features. I feel like they're both about the same, as in terms of what they're doing. So I will I'll take the pricing one, copy that, paste it, copy that, paste, and now pricing section we will want to copy and paste. Go back to home, copy new cleaner section, rename it, paste it, enter it. So in here right now, what do we have? We've got grid. We've got grid with a lot of items. So we've got typography. Create a new free cleaner on Amazon Alexa. What happened? We're not running. looking for, you know what, I'm just going to run npm run start. Starting up our server. We get into here. So although I added it, it is not here yet. I wonder why that is. New. Maybe because I haven't saved it. And maybe because I haven't renamed this. Pricing section is not defined on line 147 of new cleaner section. So now we got pricing and create a new free cleaner on Amazon Alexa. So next thing I want to do is I want to remove these boxes. That way we're down and I'll just include hello world. I do like all this grid nonsense, however, I'm not sure it's going to be relevant. I think I'm just going to stack them on top of each other. We've got container fluid, grids inside of grid, zoom in up. Card wrapper. Instead of deleting it all, I'm just going to eliminate these pricing cards, and I'll have an H1 hello world. For this second pricing card, I'm going to make it a text. Do we have any text box? We don't. H1 email address input. We don't need email address input, so name of dry cleaner. In addition to name of dry cleaner, we'll delete this pricing code, and then we need phone number. Phone number. And everything else can leave. And I think we want all these to be 12. I'm just going to add this as another task. And we can see now we have added these pieces of info in super bold letters. Next thing I want to know is, how do I get an input field? Luckily our login box still has these cool text boxes, so I'm going to figure out how login is importing it, and then I'm going to add those in as well. So let's add those in from, instead of home, login dialog, they have a text field coming from Material UI Core. So where's our Material UI Core? Material UI Core. Text field. Now where's our login dialog on here? Text field. Text field. So instead of name of dry cleaner, let's go poop. Invalid cleaner name. Input ref is login email. Don't know what that is. Autocomplete type is email. That's not true. Let's reference Material UI text field. So what are the attributes we got? What are the attributes we got? Where are they at? What is type? A valid input type. Okay. Input types. Button, checkbox, color, date, email, file, hidden, month, number, password, radio range, reset, search. I don't think we even want it. We don't even want to type. On change, status. If we've got invalid cleaner name, set states to null. Invalid email, and it's invalid cleaner name. cleaner name is invalid. Alright, how are we looking over here? Unexpected use of status on line 84. Yeah, I don't know what this error message necessarily means right now. Where's invalid email found? Set status invalid email. Okay, so we run this check and then we set the status of invalid email. For now, we're not going to have this error message. It is required, full width, label. And here's our on change. And honestly, our on change can handle a lot of it. And we don't need any helper text. What do we got? Login email is not defined on line 87. Input ref. What is input ref? Input ref passes the reference to the input element. Let's see what this is being used for over here. Login email equals use ref. Interesting. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete it for now. Simplify. Reduce. To do check for valid Alexa skill naming conventions. Because this is where we're actually checking to see if the name of the Alexa skill is valid. And what else we got? Price card is defined but never used on line 12. Cool, that's because we don't want it anymore. Let's delete price card. Save that. We're looking good now. How are we looking over here? And now we've got a name of dry cleaner. We also want to get a phone number. So next, let's copy this exact same functionality for phone number. Phone number. And now this one, we do want that type. So however we got that type. But instead of type equaling that, we want it to equal phone, I believe. Just one word, phone, P-H-O-N-E. Tel, T-E-L. Phone number, name of cleaner, create a new cleaner. And I don't even think we need that. I think we should just be good with these two pieces of text. So let's delete the hello world. Goodbye grid box with hello world. And I want all these to be 12. 12. These should all be full width. They are much bigger. Nah, I want them to be smaller, but I do want them to have their entire row. So how are we doing this? Yeah, let's make it 6. I guess we'll make it 6 on large and 12 on everything else. And now what happens when we make it smaller? They get bigger. check Firebase status. The one thing I forgot is a button for someone to click once they actually get it. So we do want a button in here, and let's try taking this button. Here's a button. I'm just going to copy this get from GitHub button, put it into the new cleaner section. For right now, I'm putting it right here. And I'm now going to copy this entire grid. Paste the grid. This is the second one, so I'll remove the text field. And now up here I will remove the button. Now we have a button, and now instead of download, we'll say create cleaner. Button is not defined. Button should now be defined. Create a cleaner. Alright. I think I actually want this grid outside of the other grid. What I'm trying to do right now with this grid what I would like to do with this grid is make it a row. So let's check over here for grid. Direction will be row, and justify center and align item center. This is exactly what I'm looking for. No, I want you centered. Got it. Alright, so now we've got this create cleaner button, and as we size it should still be working great. So the button, we have a secondary color. I wonder what the colors are I have to pick from. Okay, so now I've changed it to the primary color and we get this nice little red button instead of the blue. I wonder where these colors are defined. This looks like where our colors are defined. I'm going to copy this primary color and let's go to color picker. Yeah, that looks like the same color. So I could change all these if I wanted to a different color. Let's get back onto focus. So we have these as well as a create cleaner button, and the create cleaner button is taking us over to the GitHub page because I have not changed what the button does. Let's first remove the fact that it's redirecting us over to GitHub. I don't want an href. If we save this, does it still direct us somewhere? The goal is to not have the button direct us anywhere. Great, the button should not be directing us anywhere. Instead, we should do all the logic behind the scenes. Let's go back to the old code. Alright, and this then checks for a submit event, and then we post checkout Firebase. So the post checkout Firebase is getting the name of the company, adding that to the cleaner admin, and then it's getting the phone number and saving that in as well. And once we do that, we send the customer home and redirect them. So I also want these functions. I would like to add an event listener to our form. Really, I just want a click listener, and I just want to do this. So I'm actually going to make this simpler. Let's add on click. Next up, let's define a function. Let's call it button click, or validate. Create new cleaner. We'll call it check cleaner and create. We'll call it handle create cleaner button click. I'm just gonna make it button. And inside of here, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna alert hello world. And this needs to be an arrow function. And then I think we want an E going in here as well. We're going to call it a function instead of a constant, and we'll head back over here. Well, yeah, so we will backspace. Now we've got our function, and it still doesn't like it, so we'll just get rid of this function. What happens if I comment this out and now I come back here? Okay, we're not getting that hello world anymore, and now we are. So I want to handle the click, and I want to follow. Maybe I need on click to be a capital C. Why do you keep saying hello world instantly? And why are you not doing it when I say? For now, I think I'm going to get rid of this function. So it looks like a lot of these are passing them down. So I guess I will also pass it down. Inside of home, we're doing the new cleaner section, and I'm going to make button click function equals function button click equals alert hello world. So now we do have a function here. What don't you like about my button click function? Button click. You don't like what I'm doing, but I don't know what I should be doing. Function app. Function app. How? Why doesn't it like it? Maybe because I'm doing this wrong? There we go, okay. Button click FX. And then we'll just copy this a couple times. Button click FX equals bam, button click FX. And now inside of new cleaner, let's say on click equals this dot props dot button click fx. We're looking good over there. Cannot read property props of undefined. Okay, okay. It looks like in other ones they are getting it from props. So let's see if we're getting props here. We are getting props. Okay, so we also want width, we want classes, and we want this button click fx. And then once we do that, we won't need to do that anymore. Cool. And now we're still doing hello world, which is dumb and not what we want at all. So let me see why our on click activated on page load fires on render. Yes, because you are calling that function instead of passing the function to the on click. Change that line to this. On click is that. Okay. Instead it wants me to this. Alright, well let's try this. Hey, did that do it? It's not saying hello world. What about when I click? Now we're getting it. We're making progress. Okay, so now when we click this, we're getting hello world. So the next thing I wanted to do is instead of just logging hello world, I would like it to print the name of the cleaner and the phone number. That way we can start to check it. Those are all defined in home. So now let's alert, instead of alerting hello world, we'll say cleaner name and then plus let's see what we're doing with it in login dialog. So we have an on change status. This is email address, login email, login email. Where's login email? Login email is using ref, but what is this use ref function? I'm not sure what this use ref function is, so let's look that up. Use ref hooks. This is React. Okay, what is use ref? Returns a mutable ref object whose current property is initialized to be passed argument initial value. The returned object will persist for the full lifetime of the component. A common use case is to access a child imperatively. Use ref, input L, and then the ref. Okay. Got it. So we want to have a, where's use ref control? Use ref. Nowhere in here. What about in the login dialog? Okay. We'll do this inside of here. And we'll do a similar process. Where do they have it? Inside of here. Cleaner name. And now how do they update it? Login email. And now we've got an input ref of the value. What is all this? Login, use callback, login.current value, login email, cleaner name, copy the cleaner name. We want to make it input ref. Where's cleaner name, cleaner name, cleaner name? And now instead of the input ref being login, let's make it cleaner name. Alright. And I'm going to pass in login email now. When we call Oh, it's cleaner name. Cleaner name, and now back here in home, we're going to do cleaner name, and now we'll do plus cleaner name, cleaner name. Let's see what happens now. Use ref is not defined on line 51. On line 50, 50, 50, 51. Use ref is not defined. Use ref, okay. Where are we getting use ref? We're getting it from React, so I need to import this from React. Now we do. It's an object. Dot current dot value. It's empty. What happens if I type in a couple letters? Hey, look at that. Alright, now let's replicate that same functionality for phone number. So we want cleaner name and we want cleaner phone number. Alright, cleaner name and cleaner phone number. Let's do this. New cleaner name section. Phone number. Copy this input ref from name of dry cleaner down to the phone number. And now once we do that, we will want to change out cleaner name with cleaner phone number. And then down here when we click the button, in addition to cleaner name, we will pass in cleaner phone number. Passing both of those in, let's go back up to home. In here we will do that, and then let's alert cleaner phone plus cleaner phone number dot current dot value. Alright. So name of cleaner is Gregarious Cleaner. Phone number is 51 blah blah blah. Gregarious Cleaner, phone number is that. Awesome. Now that we have on click actually triggering, we want to validate inputs before creating the cleaner. So now let's see how we're validating the inputs over here. If we're validating the inputs over here. I believe it's in save to Firebase, maybe. Check validity. Where is this check validity? Okay, that's not something that is defined. Post checkout. Company name if user equals null. Alert, please sign in to continue. If it does not equal null, then we add the cleaner to admin with the value of company. And it does not look like we're actually making any checks. It looks like we're just passing it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this into the new code right here. And I'm going to copy anything that it references, like send customer home, add cleaner to admin, and then send customer home, window.replace location. Okay, so we go into admins. We're only adding the cleaner to the admin there. So where are we actually adding the add new cleaner to Firebase and admin? Let's go back to index. When we submit, we post checkout Firebase. Add cleaner to admin. So how do we do this? So now I think I do want to switch around the flow. Right now we're adding the cleaner to an admin, but I think I want to just add cleaner to Firebase. So I'll copy that function, add cleaner to Firebase, add new cleaner to Firebase and admin. Yeah, let's do that. Let's copy this guy. Handsome man, you're going to sit right there. Add new cleaner to Firebase, name of the dry cleaner, as well as the admin name. Yeah, that would be helpful. Dry cleaner as well as admin name. We've got the admin name, we've got the phone number. So, we don't have a company code, I don't need that anymore. First name, we'll get that from admin name. Company is dry cleaner, so let's call this cleaner. Dry cleaner, dry cleaner, cleaner, dry cleaner. Email, we'll get that from the user object returned to us by Google, hopefully. Orders email, don't know what that means. Phone number we can get. Creator Firebase ID, creator email verified, creator name, creator email. And this is all coming from the user object, which we should be able to get. Yeah, so this is, we get a bunch of info from Firebase around the person. So first name will be admin name. You know what? I don't even need the admin name. Dry cleaner. And phone number. Phone number. Cleaner is dry cleaner. Cleaner name is dry cleaner. We'll make it cleaner display name. We got a phone number and the rest of those things. Alright, and then after that we add the cleaner to admin. Adding cleaner to admin, we need the dry cleaner is company. Add cleaner to admin right now is taking in company. We're not passing in anything, so we need dry cleaner. And let's refactor this to dry cleaner. We'll just call it cleaner. No sense sticking it in the box of dry cleaning when this could be much broader. Now the flow we want to do is the button is clicked. In here we will validate the entries to make sure that they match Alexa format. We'll then add that new cleaner to Firebase and admin, which will add the cleaner to the admin. And then after that's done, it'll send the customer home. 3, maybe 4 kind of steps. First, I just want to see if it works without validation. So we will add new cleaner to Firebase and admin with cleaner name. I'm going to create these as variables so that I don't have to keep typing out the exact same thing. Const cleaner new cleaner name. Can I just reference cleaner name? Nah. Don't know enough about React yet to know if that would actually work. New cleaner name. Go on to a new line here. We got constant. We'll call it new cleaner phone number. Equals paste that. New cleaner phone number. Add new cleaner. Now we have new cleaner name, comma, new cleaner phone number. That gets passed into here, at which point we save it to Firebase. We pass in the phone number, we get user ID. None of this exists yet, so this will actually cause it to crash, so I will comment that out for now until we get more of the Firebase login implemented. Then we will add cleaner to admin with the dry cleaner name. And yeah, same thing, I'm going to just make this cleaner. cleaner name. I like making this more applicable to everybody and not just a subset. Add cleaner to admin, add cleaner to admin. Now we go to user ID, which again is not set, so we will comment this out for now until we actually have gotten this one to work, which we'll verify inside of Firebase to make sure that it actually creates the dry cleaner. So we will alert, we'll then add them to Firebase, and then alert cleaner name plus added to Firebase. Nice job. Great work. Let's see what you do. DB is not defined. Home.js line 35. Home.js line 35. Home.js line 35. We do have this variable DB and it is not defined. So I hear you. I hear you. How do we get the Firebase info? Well, alright, let's give this a shot. Database is not defined. $sign's not defined. Okay, user is not defined. This is all on Home.js. We need to import Firebase, and we need to import it using, let's just set up Firebase. Firebase DB. Firestore is what I meant. Getting started. Test node, blah blah. We want Node.js. Alright, well, this is what we're gonna use, I guess. Initialize on your own server. Yeah, this is how we do it. But I think we're already initializing this, so is there any way that we can get this fire database equals admin.firestore? So where are we already using Firebase? So right now registered dialog is being it's being spawned right here. Now what if instead we initialize it in main.js and then pass it into register dialog? So by that I mean let's take the service account. Goal is to only implement Firebase.initialize app once per component. So let's take this initialization of the app and let's cut it and move it all the way up to main.js. Now we're initializing, but we have not actually gotten Firebase, so let's copy that, paste it. Service account only matters for initialization of the app, and let's make this a constant. Firebase form dialog UI config is specific to the UI, and is the rest is history. So we're already initializing the app. Let's save this, and now we are initializing it inside of here, inside of main.js, init Firebase. So let's see what we got now. Okay, yeah, that stuff's still not defined, and that's a-okay. Let's comment it out for now. Did I go to the wrong place? Oh, I wanted home.js to have it, not main.js. Okay, why am I messing with main.js? I don't know, but that's not what we wanted. Cut all of that out. Save that, get out of this main.js thing. And now inside of here, home.js, where we've got all this DB nonsense that we don't want. What line does it care about? Line 40, 66, 68, line 40. Okay, Google, stop. And 68. So we'll comment out these functions. Oop. And then line 33. Yep, we'll comment you out. Line 82. That's just a warning. So now the question is, can we still register having moved the initialization of Firebase to home? Can we still register? Maybe. Is it just taking a sec? Alright, so we got redirected to sign in. Let's see if there were anything over here. Justify, align items, direction, justify. Okay, so we're missing some properties from things, but I'm going to ignore those for now. We now have Firebase inside of main, which is exactly where we wanted it. And now let's go back over here and figure out what we need to do in order to actually get started with Firebase. Database equals admin.firestore, and instead of admin, we are going to say db equals firebase.firestore. And now that we do have database defined, let's uncomment the first function. Save you. And let's try running this. Come here, we'll scroll down, and now we will add our dry cleaner of waiver test cleaner, and then phone number is phone number. Waiver test cleaner, phone number. Alright, I don't see anything, so that's never... Oh, maybe I'm not calling the function. No, we are calling the function. What is with this? So we did the things. I'm not seeing anything off. So let's check over here, dry cleaners. And I'm curious of which we are making progress. As you can see in here, we are filling out the database with all the information. I would like to validate these inputs now. First thing I want to do is I want to make the cleaner name all lowercase. To lowercase JavaScript. To lowercase, we'll take this str.to lowercase, so we'll keep this .to lowercase. Boop boop. Save you. And now if we do it again, we'll call it... I'm going to get rid of some of these alerts because they're just getting annoying. Waiver test cleaner 1 555 555 5555. Create the cleaner. It was added. Let's check out if it was... Should be down here in the W's. Waiver test. So now it's all lowercase, which is great. And we should see in a couple seconds more information populate from our Firebase Cloud functions. Bam! More resources are being deployed. So far it's all working well. So we now are doing lowercase. I would like to validate this with Alexa requirements. So Alexa invocation requirements. And what are the rules? So must not infringe on IP. Very hard for me to check that. One-word invocations are not allowed, so we do need a space. We need at least 2 words, so I'm going to validate that. So this looks like this will check for 1 space, and it excludes leading and trailing spaces, which is perfect. String.trim index of equals -1. Another thing is numbers must be spelled out. So let's make that one a check inside of the onChange function for create new cleaner. Down here inside of the actual text itself, when we change the name of cleaner, I actually want to check. So let's E, and let's alert whatever E is. Instead of E, we'll make it change. Alert change. what happens when we do that? Are we running? We're not running. Let's run. Fly like an eagle, then my spirit carry me on to fly like an eagle. Fly. Object, 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 object. Yep, that's what I like to see. Change dot value. Event.target.value. Now when we type in a name, we get F, we get FF, FFF, FFFF, H, the number 5. Okay, so when we type in the number 5, it should not allow that. So we want to say if const new value equals change dot target dot text, and then we'll alert new value, new value. And we would like to check to see if there's numbers. So if string contains number JavaScript. So now we'll prevent the default if that happens. Otherwise, we just, either way we alert, but one, we should prevent default. Alright, so it's alerting some weird stuff now. Well, it's not even alerting the right stuff. On change, so my question is void event, you can pull out the new value. Well, you know what, how about we just set cleaner name, equals new value remove all numbers from string JavaScript. Let's try this. Let's see how this works. Assignment to constant variable of cleaner name. What? let cleaner name equals use ref. So where is this? Let's learn more about use ref. Use is the loneliest number. We'll go into register login dialog. We're doing some use ref somewhere. So how are we updating it here? Set status null. Okay, so set status is passed down. And the goal right now, current goal is to prevent me from typing any number in here. However, right now I'm able to type in any number I want. I wonder if I can set the value of the current component. Cleanername.current.value is what I'm using now. Let's see if that changes anything. Alright, so now it looks like we are not typing numbers. Can we type letters? 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 No. So what are we doing? We're alerting cleaner name, and we're replacing those values globally. So now I've eliminated the value off the end, and let's see if we're good. Okay, so if I eliminate value, it's not doing anything anymore. Value equals new value dot replace globally any digits 0 to 9. So in my head right now I'm thinking, okay, we can do two options. We can either force them to not be able to type that. Alternatively, we can just alert if they have typed it that they need to change it. I'm trying to automatically do it because if we can have a robot enforce it, then it won't take any more human time to follow the rule. But right now I'm having trouble having a robot enforce this rule, so what I'm trying to do, autofocus full width required, marginal outline, form helper text props, error is true. So how can I guess my question is, how can I enforce rules on a text? So I'll go search that on Google. Maybe instead of set ref, I should have use state. Instead of use ref, let's try let cleaner name state equal use state. Ah, okay, well, state cleaner name and then set cleaner name state, and then the initial state is going to be nothing, empty string. So now we can use state cleaner name state cleaner name. What happens right now? Use state is not defined. Okay, well let's add comma use state. Now what happens when I start typing? Okay, so typing is allowed and we're using a state value now. Set cleaner name state to new value, bam, and now we will alert this. So what happens when we do that? Let's type nothing, nothing, Okay, we're alerting nothing right now. And it's still letting me type 5s. So we're never really updating the value. Let's copy this exactly instead of me trying to outthink it. So now we go back over to here. Doesn't like the comma somewhere. Maybe because we needed one more of those. So they're not linked. So let's go back to the text view. Is there like a value? There's a value. Okay. So instead of use ref, let's have value. Okay, so now we are not typing anything because we're not updating the state. Great, 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 great. Great, great, great. Set cleaner name state. And let's just set cleaner name state to new value. And new value is change.target.text context. Let's do it. Let's do that. And let's also eliminate this alert. Okay, so now we're not alerting and we're not changing. It should be setting state cleaner name to a different value, which should be updating that. Let's look up something else. Material UI text field prevent digits. Control find avoid. Nope. How to in text box set state. All right. Well, I'm not figuring this out quick enough. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go. I'm going to go back to how things were, and then I'm going to just alert if it happens. So we're not going to use state anymore. No more using state because I'm not sure what the difference is between use ref and use state. We're not going to worry about any of these on change things. We're just going to leave that as a to-do for now. And let's make sure that this is working over here. Okay, so it looks like we're all good. I just want to now validate on home. Now we want to say if string contains number JavaScript, input string contains a number, we'll run that test right here. Now the test for cleaner name. Bam, save that. Cleaner name must not contain any digits 0 to 9. Please rename any digits to their alphabetical spelling. Let's try this one now. Okay, home.js line 50, home.js line 50. Else if, yep, I've got a semicolon there when in fact it should be an opening curly bracket. Now we're going to type in some characters and we'll go, and they say, oh, you don't have 2 words. Okay, well, I'll go clean. And now, oh, cleaner name must not contain any digits 0 to 9. Well, we're doing that, but I do also need to change is valid to false in here. And now it'll still tell me that it created, or no, it didn't. Awesome. Rename any digits to their spelling. So then if I respell this 5 and I change this back to waiver 2, can't do that, but if I change this to waiver 2, now we can add it. However, we don't have a phone number, and that is an issue. So we need to make sure that phone number is present. What happens if I just try submitting it with nothing in here? Well, okay, that's great. Check valid phone number JavaScript. If 10-digit with no comma, no spaces, no punctuation. So now I've added a check for a valid phone number. Right here we say if it matches this regex expression, which I found from a Stack Overflow question by searching check valid phone number JavaScript. I was able to get this regex, and I said if it does not match this, then we set is valid to false, and then we alert a phone message, a phone error. You can see right here. This is 2 letters, and it's that phone number, and we have an invalid phone number. So that's going to be the end of validation. I'm going to push these changes up, and I'm also going to remove some of these alert messages. Control F, alert. Yep, we'll get rid of this one. And then we don't need to say that we added it to Firebase. Yeah, we'll keep saying that we're adding it to Firebase. Stop the server. Home.js line 49. Let's see where we're at. Home.js line 49. Alright, it looks like it does not like a lot of these escape characters, so let me just throw this in there. Let's see if this still works. Send customer home is defined but never used on line 103. That's fine. No useless escape. I would like to get rid of that, but for now I'm going to ignore it. Let's go get status. Get add dot get commits -m. I add that phone number validation for new cleaners. Git push origin master. Cool. So we've pushed it up. We now validate the input. Next thing I would like, and we are actually producing that free cleaner. So grid sizing, I think we're also good. Let's check that real quick. npm run start. Grid sizing, I'm just going to check, alright, how does this look on web, which I think it looks great on desktop. How does it look on tablet? How does it look on mobile? Everything should already be looking good, but the biggest thing I'm curious about are the new components that we added. It looks fine on tablet size, and then once we get down here to mobile size, it also still looks good. So I think we're good as well on the sizing. Next question is check Firebase login status for the free cleaner. So if they are not already, if someone is not already signed in, I would like to change this out for the register button. I would like to copy the register button and I would like to put it down here. In order to do that, the first thing we'll want to do is check Firebase authentication status. So I stopped doing something. Yeah, so then we'll be able to unlock user ID, so I'm going to add that as the next thing. Add user props to Firebase on cleaner create. Add cleaner to admin. We should be able to do that one. We have imported DB, so we should be able to do that one now. But oh yeah, we can't because we don't have the user info. So check sign in status Firebase. Firebase.auth.on auth status. Bam, copy you. We'll just paste you up here. If user alerts signed in, alert not signed in. So now let's come over here and we're signed in. I think I would like to switch the login button to a log out button and have all functionality of logging in go through there. So that is another thing. Log out button. But for now, we are just checking Firebase status. We are logged in, so I need to figure out how to log out. Log out Firebase off. Here's the function for signing out. I'll just copy that, and for right now, if a user is signed in, I want to immediately sign them out. Not signed in. Great. So if we're not signed in, I want to change whether or not we're displaying that. So I'll make this a style. Do I even need this up here? I actually think I want this. I want to check the status inside of a component. I would like to. So I think we're going to have auth state changed in two different levels. I'm going to cut this and I'm actually going to put it. Okay, Google, stop. As I was saying, I'm going to go into free new cleaner section, and I'm going to up here add in a firebase.auth. Now Firebase is no longer defined here, so I'm going to go ahead and copy the definition one more time. Okay. So let's save this, and we should not have it up here anymore. We do not have it up here anymore, so now we should still, no Firebase default has been created. What do you mean no Firebase default has been created? We do it up here. Well, I didn't think we would want to initialize the app twice. Let's get rid of that Firebase and let's just see what happens. Firebase is not defined. Well, I guess let's just pass a sign-in status down through the components. So we'll have a user and a set user, and the first user will be null. And then we will set user to hello world for now. And we'll have auth. Now we'll have user equals user. So we're signed in, we get the hello world, don't need to sign us. Yeah, for now we'll just do this. My goal is to see if we can pass something down into the new free cleaner section. So down here, let's just alert user. Okay, what happens? Okay, hooks can only be called inside the body of a function component. This can only invalid hook call. They can only be called inside the body of a function component. So we are going set user inside of a function component. What don't you like? What don't you like? Okay. Is that better for you? Oh, I didn't even seek to understand. User is not defined in component home on line 36. 36. Well then, I am not entirely sure what you want me to do. I guess let's try it up here. Set user is not defined up there now. Ay ay ay, why is this so challenging for me? Okay, let's move this inside as well. Null. Hello world. Not signed in, not signed in, not signed in, not signed in, not signed in. Lots of, each time it's rendering now, it's going to run this, and I don't like that it's going to run it so often. Alright, again, I wanted to do some cool stuff in terms of hiding it automatically, but it's seeming to give me some issues, so what I'm going to do instead is I will still have people get signed in, but I'm not going to leverage that save state. I'm not going to try to leverage state. I'm not going to try to pass it down. I'm not going to hide anything. Just getting rid of it all and trying to make it a little bit simpler. Leave you there. Alright, so now we're undefined and we're not signed in, which is great. That's great. That's great. Okay, so right here, this is how we can check if a user is here. And inside of this validation, else if not user, we'll say again false, and then you need to sign in first. And I think I'm going to put this one very first actually, because I would like people to sign in. Current user, so if not, user error. Must be signed in to create free cleaner. Please sign in and try again. Alright, there we go. Let's come back over here. Not signed in. So I'll leave everything blank. The first thing we should see is must be signed in to create a free cleaner. Cool. So now let's go ahead and remove this automatically signing us out nonsense. Not signed in. I'm going to register, sign in with Google. Undefined. And now I am signed in. So if I type in some valid info, we should be able to have access to that, which means we should be able to save that information to Firebase. And now the only question, same thing, I'm going to copy this to get the current user. I'll call it const user equals control V. So now we have a user and we can store all of those properties. So when I create a new waiver with user 555 1513 555 5555. Invalid phone number. It's not liking my phone number now. 513-850-5895. Invalid phone number. What are you even talking about? Invalid phone number. I don't know why I put those little quotes around it. Waiver user cleaner 555 555 5555. Okay, so let's see if it added those extra user data. Waiver user cleaner. Now we have all these extra pieces of info, including a creator email verified, a creator name, and a creator photo. So we get a lot more information stored about a dry cleaner, which we can end up using inside of their profile and other information later on. I'm going to push those changes up. Get status, get add dot, get commit -m. I add user data on cleaner creation, get push origin master, npm run build to get a production build, Firebase deploy --only hosting. So the next thing I would like to do is add the cleaner to admin. You know what, I really don't think we need to actually have that section. So that we also have this function over here called add cleaner to admin, and I don't know that we actually need to do that. I think just knowing who the creator is on here is good enough. I don't know that we need to have this secondary redundant reference, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then we don't need to send them anywhere because right now there's nowhere to send them to. So we'll delete that as well, and then we'll also delete this, and we're getting close to being done. Successfully added. So now we're saving all that data. Good. We need a logout button. So I'm going to replace login with logout. Let's see what's in this navigation nav bar. We have got a lot of things. Waiver. I'm looking for, we have a button. Okay, let's see if I can Control Shift F for register. Nope. Nope. Control F here for register. Register. Set dialog open, register, dialog selector, navbar. What is navbar? Okay. So now we'll make this one log out. And on click, can we just do the Firebase sign out? So we will sign them out. Signing you out. I don't think we have Firebase in here, so let's add Firebase from home. And we gotta rerun the server. Alright, so it says we're not signed in, which was surprising because I thought we were. But let's just play around with this register. Signed in, not signed in. Okay, so maybe when we're signing in, we're immediately getting signed out. Signed in. What is causing us to sign out? Let's try that. So now I'm passing it just like I was before. Sign in with Google. Signed in. And I didn't see anything that said sign out. So now if we log out, not signed in. Excellent. So let's go register /login. Doesn't really make a difference. And instead of register, I like sign up. And over here on home, let's get rid of... I don't think we really need to change anything when the auth state changes, so I'm just gonna delete all that. And here in navbar, where are menu items? Control F menu items. So I want to dynamically change menu items that are being mapped. Const, and now let's get the user. So the things that I'm going to be doing right now, I'm going to check if they are signed in, and if they are signed in, I'm going to suppress the sign in button, and if they are signed out, I'm going to suppress the sign out button. So I'm going to copy getting the current user. Instead of a var, I like consts. If user So if user and elements dot name equals, so if they're signed in and the name is sign up login, that means that they are already signed in and they clicked on, well, and login is what's about to be displayed. Okay, Google, stop. So what I'm going to do is just return null. Else we will return this beautiful, beautiful button. Beautiful button. Alright, so now if we're signed in and the name is sign up login, we shouldn't do anything. We're running. Let's alert elements dot name. Home, blog, sign up, login, log out, home, blog, sign up, login. Alright, so we're doing quite a bit. If user, now let me just alert user. User is null. Ah, so we're already signed out. That's excellent. That's excellent. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. I totally assume, I'm making assumptions that I'm signed in when in fact I'm not. So let's sign up, login. Undefined. But sign up, login is still here, and that does not make sense to me. You should be hidden, but at the same time we're not. Are we running our server? Yeah, we are running our server. Why is sign up login not going away? Alright, so right now it's really not giving us, it's not looking like it's going to be super easy, so I'm going to undo kind of all these changes. The challenge I'm facing is that it's a hard-coded list up top, and hard-coded list is going to be challenging for me to dynamically change. So I would like to change this stuff, but not really understanding how. I just realized that everything I was doing is inside of this if element.link, where while what I want to do is actually not going to include element.link, because the links are for blog and for home. What I want to modify is down here. Let's save that and let's see what happens. If user, let's log in. But it's still displaying. So again, I'll undo all this. I thought I was onto something, I'm not. Okay. Okay, so we'll leave this as is. And I do want to get rid of. Do I want to get rid of blog? For now, I'll get rid of blog. There we go. Okay. Now let's look for all these console logs. Control F console.log. Nothing. Control F console.log. Let's try one more time. I'm going to log out, so I should be logged out now. And once I log out, must be signed in. If I sign in with Google. Okay, so now we're on a naming error. So the sign in and sign out buttons are both working, so I'm going to commit those changes. Next thing I'm going to do is add our Gitbook, which is our blog. Gitbook is awesome. It's free. It formats very well. So if you have a blog and you want to integrate it with your website, or if you don't have a blog but you have content and you want to use that content, voice dry cleaner. Alright, so I'm going to take this link and I'm going to make it where our navbar links to. Navbar. Now I'm going to uncomment blog, and then it will link to there, right there. So now let's run the server and let's see what happens when we click blog. When we click blog, it takes us, it looks like it's trying to take us right in line. So I don't know how to turn this link into something else, into an actual blog. So for now we're going to delete blog. Not super important anyways, so we'll save that. Frustrating that this is not as easy as I would expect it to be. So Control C git status. I'm going to push these changes up. Git add git commit -m I remove blog navbar link git push origin master npm run build, and once we build we'll deploy to Firebase with Firebase deploy -- only hosting once it finishes. Deploy it. And now let's shut everything down and I'll show you what's going on. We'll leave this open so that way we can see the database entries. But the rest, let's close. Boot. That's the old website. Old stuff. Alright, so now let's go to voicedrycleaner.web.app. Let's refresh this hard code. Okay. So now we got all of our features, and now we've got this cleaner creation, and we must be signed in to create a free cleaner. Let's go ahead and sign in with Google. This domain, voicedrycleaner.web.app, is not authorized. Cool. So real quick, let's go over and let's add it. So if you ever get that message, if you see that pop up, you'll want to make sure that you come over to sign in method and then add a domain, paste it, add it. We're good. Let's refresh. So now we sign up, and now we can use this just fine. We're now signed in, because if we click this, we need to make this different. So we'll go waiver test live 513-555-5555. And now it has been created. So let's go into database. We'll go to dry cleaners. We'll go down to. So actually, what I do want to do is add some more things, like always. Wave test live. We get all this info, and it's already starting to generate the pipeline. You can see over here we actually did create a. There should be a skill ID, but I actually don't see one for some of these. No skill IDs. I wonder why there's no. There's a skill name, but no skill ID. Sheet ID. So next step, it looks like we'll have to check out the pipelines and figure out why they're not working. Coming over here to the pipelines, let's check out the logs. We're using OnSmappy skill creation. Looks like we were able to create all cap cleaners, but the rest we have not. So what happened with all cap cleaners? And why aren't we creating skills anymore? Should be up in home. We create it, so it's not like we don't create it.